Stay focused.
Good evening, New York. 2 minutes to launch time.
Calm mind, strong frame.
Ah,
Listen to the older man. He said, tighten up your laces, then you walk your lane. You don't chase every face, you don't chase that fame. You stack quiet, stack steady, let the loud ones fade. You protect your peace first, that's how power's made. He said, breathe slow, spine tall, let your jaw clench. Hold the door for your people, keep your circle dense. You don't flinch at the pressure, you just learn to wait. You don't sprint for approval, you just move, you create. Yeah, stay focused.
yes,
Eyes front,
yes.
hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Every step like
Why
you
does it
already
have all of
chose.
these comments?
Yeah, build it rise from the
Wow.
dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every
Are
word.
you guys on this morning?
Listen to the older man. He said, son, guard your mornings like a sacred place.
I
Write
see
the
you,
plan,
brother.
then attack, don't erase your
I
place.
see you,
Turn your
John.
anger into effort, not a heavy chain. Turn your doubts into questions that refine your aim. He said, love is a duty, there's more than one. You show up when it's ugly, when the edges haunt. You don't flex for a stranger, you show up for your clan. You don't beg to be chosen, you become that man. Oh, stay focused, eyes front, hands ready, heart open.
I see you, man. I see you. I see you, Richard. You're on time, brother.
Build it rise from the dirt to the sky.
Let me turn this music down.
Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every word, every line. Listen to the older man. One voice in a loud world. Cut clear through the crowd words. He said, you already know the plan. You just need
4 a.m. here in Dubai. It is, well, Sunday, 7th of June, my friends, for me. But a lot of you thought I was coming on earlier. Did some time zone switch or something? Is it something I'm not aware of? Colombia, I see you, brother. Big bold commerce. Step Godfather. You guys got some names for me, man. Uncle Paul, Godfather, Dr. Paul. I like Dr. Paul. Yes. So today, my friends, hey, we're talking about femininity. Yeah, that's going to be a hot topic. Hot topic. I'm wondering if a lot of you even know what that is anymore. Yeah. Come on in, gentlemen. Come on in. James, the old boy. Where were you yesterday, man? We missed you on the membership chat. Had a lively bunch. It was a good chat, man. I think we went almost 2 hours or over. Yeah, if you guys haven't joined over on School, SKOOL, Ask an Older Man, you guys are missing out. I'm gonna start pushing the school memberships a lot harder now. It's free, guys, so go over there and check it out. That's where we meet. We're gonna start getting a lot more personal. Yeah, I always forget that. Come on, guys, give me some thumbs up as you come in so that the algorithm can push it out to more and more of my subscribers. You know, I gotta always remember. So, I'm gonna just throw this out at you guys. How many of you understand what femininity is? Older man, it's my first time catching you live. Brother, come on in, man. If you want to come on air as well, you can, you know. Just click on the link in the description of this video, or if you're watching me on TV, there's that QR code in the top over there. You know, just click on it and come on in. Yeah, we need to do that music video. For those of you that have been following me regularly, you know I'm on this music streak. It's like I've just discovered fire music. But I've been creating my own music. I do not listen to mainstream music, so I create my own lyrics using the power of AI and, you know, keeping my lyrics positive and, you know, uplifting. Gotta teach women the old handkerchief drop. Yeah, exactly. My dude is going live now. Yeah, man, I've been going live for 2 months. Yeah, it's been 2 months now. It's building. It's getting there, man. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Let's do this. Because as a man with 2 daughters, 2 teenage daughters, I am constantly observing the young generation. One of my daughters 19, the other one is 17. And, you know, 2 beautiful girls. But I look at their mannerisms and I look at the way their mother carried herself. And my wife can be very feminine in her demeanor. You know, sits well, very, very proper with her, the way she holds her cutlery, her tea. She's British. You know, all of the little refinements that make the essence of a woman's femininity. But I realized that, man, the young generation, when I see her hang out with her friends, I mean, they dress more masculine. It's a lot more, you know, it's a lot more non-elegant. I'm trying to find the correct words because let me turn off the background music now. That's over. We get to the point where women don't put any effort into being feminine. And back in the day, a woman's goal was to really, really work on being as feminine as possible. She understood the formalities of every room and every situation that she was in to be her best, to be as elegant as possible. And in essence, that is what made a man feel attracted to her. So my thought process is, if this is missing, if this is fundamentally missing from our society, what is it that men are supposed to be attracted to? Because I've done a video on this before. Women are very sexual in today's environment, but they're not feminine. These are 2 totally different things, gents. You know it. There's sexuality and there's femininity. I strongly feel that the majority of today's society have gone so extremely sexual that they have ignored femininity. And in doing so, they have given up exactly what men are attracted to now. Every woman is giving up sex the minute that she meets a guy. She's sleeping with him in 1 or 2 days. I got to check him out. I got to make sure that, you know, he's worth me hanging around, right? So we have reached this point in our society where sexuality is so overplayed that it has become less desirable. you know? So this is what I'm trying to get across to my daughters, trying to explain to them. You're not being sexual, but on the other hand, you're not being feminine either. So what is it that a man is going to find attractive about you? Why would he be attracted to you? Because men are no longer triggered by sexuality like we did in the past, because it has been so overplayed. Practically every woman is walking around half naked. So nothing is left up to the imagination, so to speak. So if sexuality is dead, because it's been, is just too much of it in the marketplace, what are we attracted to? That's my thought process. If I am off, you let me know, gentlemen. You let me know if I'm missing something. If I've gotten so old now that and I'm at that point where, don't get me wrong. I mean, I still look at a sexy woman. That's different. I mean, yes, I still get triggered. But the point is, I look left, I see a woman in tights, leisure wear, camel toe totally exposed, ass crack. They got these wedgie freaking tights now. Practically every woman walks around on the street with them these days, right? You got the booty shorts. You go to the beach, you got G-strings. Practically every other woman is a G-string. Don't care what her body looks like. You walk out on the street at night, and every woman has a short shirt, a short skirt to the point where she barely bends over and her punani just poking out, That's where we're at. So sexuality has been played to the point where it has numbed men's brain to be normal. So that no longer attracts a man. So if something becomes so normal, there's nothing exceptional about it, and it's no longer triggering a man's desire to approach a woman, what else is there that a woman can have that would trigger men's desire to be attracted to them? That's a fundamental question that we have to ask in our society. Women have no clue what elegance is anymore. They think that is Red Lobster. Or they hear somebody say the word Ruth Chris, and they think that they could go to Ruth Chris and, stab a piece of steak and saw it like a freaking, they're cutting a piece of wood in the forest, thinking that that's elegant. Then they pull out their phones and start taking endless amount of photos at an elegant restaurant. All of those things are just absolutely unacceptable in a place of class. So I'm going to show you guys a bunch of different videos that I've collected from, these so-called finishing school type things. Males only complain about a female's behavior when they are mature enough to be a man. Well, yes, you have a point. At some point, a boy becomes a man. At some point, that boy will get or grow enough testosterone to go through his horny phase. Because we all remember when, testosterone was bubbling, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and up until around 30, 35, it's peaking at, well, it peaks around 24, 25. But anything that we saw that was sexual, we wanted it. We know that feeling. But what happens when we grow up in a society that sex is just constantly around us? I mean, I listen to my daughters, they talk very openly about, what they see as young teenagers and some of the sexual acts that they know that some of the girls in school perform. And it's not cute. I prefer not to say on YouTube, but it's what I've done is I've established a really good relationship with my daughters where they can talk openly to me about these things, you know. And okay, I'm not saying it's shocking. It's just gotten, because I grew up in a society that's highly sexual, so nothing I haven't experienced when I was young. But it's worse because I'm in a conservative society over here in Dubai. But then again, we have to think that 75-80% of the population come from outside the country. So you're going to see a lot of influences coming out of the West over here, especially in the schools where, you know, they go to a British school. Well, they went. I complain about female behavior since I was a kid and saw the poor attitude of women, especially the women my dad was involved with. Ooh, yeah, I hear you, brother. Give me some likes on the way in, guys. Please remember that. Elegance is about how a woman carries herself. Her friendly attitude goes a long way. Yes, absolutely. So I want to get to the idea of, let's define what I don't want to say elegance, but let's define what femininity means in 2026. I need to define it in 2026 because femininity back in the day was completely different. So we cannot keep harping back to the days of past thinking that we can import it into today's modern society and it should fit gently in place. That's not going to happen. We need to understand that the days of gone are gone. Okay? But there are still certain rules that apply to make a woman feminine. And that's what we need to explore. Paul, are men accountable for their selection and how they allow a woman to behave? You would think so. We would naturally think so. Simply because if a woman wants the results from a man, then she would act in accordance to what that man would want, right? But fundamentally, the economy has changed. Women are making their own money, they're making their own decisions, they have their own homes, etc., etc. So in modern woman's eyes, there is no reason to comply because I don't need him per se. In essence, they do. But we have a society that have groomed women to think that they don't need men. That's the problem. So compliance and working to get a man isn't as high on the female's list anymore over get education, get those stupid degrees, and try to find a job, right? Like I've always said in most of my videos, feminism only strives when the economy is doing well. The minute the economy drops, ooh, I need a man. I need somebody to pay half of these bills. That's when necessity comes in and survival. And that's when they start crying. A lot of masculine women here in the West, they are prideful and strong. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. So we need to understand what is femininity. I'm going to play you a little video. I got a few clips from these finishing schools, right? And I want to ask you guys, do you see any of this sort of action anymore? Let me see.
We're going to engage our core and engage the quadriceps. So we are not going to just drop into the sofa. We're going to try to slowly sit down on the sofa. We're going to try to keep the legs together. So we're not going to try open the legs and just go down. We're going to try to keep the legs together. And we sit. Then we find a position for the feet. We sit at a low sofa. We're going to engage our
Okay, you see, that is elegance. That is a woman showing you how to simply sit. Sitting. If we're going to look at femininity as the way the woman present herself, we have to understand that a lot of this stuff have to be taught to women. Finishing school should be part and parcel of every single curriculum in schools. It should. There should be a class in high schools for femininity studies or femininity actions, just like they've taken that out of schools now. They've taken home economics out of schools. So women these days, all they have is to rely on is sexuality. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, twerking. That's it. That's all we have. So if you understand femininity, and I've written some notes here, when a woman walks into a room with high value femininity, she doesn't need to yell, demand respect, or, act tough. Her power is magnetic. A woman should have a magnetism to her that draws not only men, but all the women to her. She changes the temperature of the room just by entering the room. There is that is femininity at its core. Women always had this power. It wasn't always about how she looked, but how she presented herself, how she enters the room, almost gliding across the room with an elegance, with a presentation that draws the eye slowly. It pulls the person into her, not jar the person's eyes to her, because that's a woman being belligerent or aggressive. That jarring movement is not what femininity is. So I hope you guys try to understand what I'm saying. A woman should not enter a room with fluorescent outfits that just jars the eyes to her. She should be in the room and all of a sudden, everybody wants to be around her. Every man is drawn to her. Not because she's shouting, not because she's making a none of that. It's the quiet magnetism. That is it. Do you bring up people for debates in future or talk to people that have questions? Either one. I am open to both, my friends. Both. Caribbean women don't have time for that. Too much going on to be worrying about elegance. Yeah, and then they'll stay single. They'll still stay single, and then they still demand men to take them to high class areas. But they're not high class. They haven't been refined. Never loud, disrespectful. Watch her reaction around men. Yeah. $100, Paul. Femininity needs to be taught in schools. I absolutely agree. We need that back. I think by teaching femininity, we stop women from defaulting to sexuality. Stop giving up their body on the first guy who shows them any attention, thinking that that is just the natural course of action or to take them into a relationship. Can a horse and a bitch present themselves as being elegant? this is the thing. I mean, you have to understand that these things are taught. Let's bring it down to men, right? Men have to be taught how to be gentlemen as well. There's nothing more grotesque than when I see a man walk into a room with a baseball cap on. You know, these are the things that we just don't do. You don't walk into a home or undercover or in a room with a hat on, period. Back in the day, when a man enters the building, he takes his hat off. Just teach them manners and lots will change. Example, table manners, phone manners, etc. Yeah, you're right. Let's look at how we should walk. Just seeing how women walk. If you want to see how bad our society has gotten when it comes to how a woman presents herself, just go to YouTube and put in like Manchester nightclub nightlife, and you see women, young girls out on the street at night, you know, going to nightclubs. Put in Stockholm, put in all of these different major cities.
The question that I get is, how do I stop this when I'm walking in my heels? And I have an answer for you. First things first is that a lot of folks end up duck walking because you're focused on your toes, or you're coming down so hard on your heel and then your toe, so you're bending your knee. Instead, what you need to do, think about coming up, out, landing in the middle of your heel, then coming down on your toe, shifting your weight forward. There's really no weight on my back right foot, and I'm keeping this knee nice and straight. So by doing that, I get this versus this. All right, I'm Melissa Latham. I'm a pageant and professional development coach, and I help folks disrupt the odds in their favor. If you're ready to do the same, go ahead, shoot me a DM, or click the link in my bio. See you soon.
Yeah, I wanted that to play out because I wanted to give her some props. Listen, there are a lot of these schools that are popping up now. I see quite a few of them on Instagram. Femininity schools, finishing schools, right? We're getting to that point where I think a lot of women are starting to wake up and saying, hey, men aren't approaching us anymore. We need an edge. That's it. All women must know that they have a responsibility and duty to dress appropriately in public places. Most women, we stand in front of a mirror, look up and down while wearing a skimpy dress, and never. This is the issue, because every woman is focusing on sexuality. Do I look sexy instead of do I look elegant? Do I look presentable? This is the thing. Them baggy sweatpants and the Reeboks with the straps, she turns around and gives that big booty a smack. I hit the flow. She hit the flow. Next thing you know, shawty got low. Exactly, man. This is the culture that we have right now. You hear me? Stacy has entered the room. Hey, Stacy. As a woman, it's hard to compete with women who show everything everywhere, and then we perceived as a prude. No, this is where the problem comes in, Stacy. If every woman, think about it like this. If every woman is dressing like a hoe, that becomes the norm. The prude, your words, not mine, then stands out. We have to understand what is it that makes something special. It is simply this. It's different. That is what makes something special. In China, I go into the countryside. I'm exotic. I'm special. How many freaking black people there are in the world? Billion, right? But in that little village, I'm exotic. I get attention. Just giving you an analogy so that you can understand that women tend to follow the herd, and they have this sheep mentality where, oh, we're all doing it. So that, well, that's the trend. So I'm following the trend. They don't realize that everybody who follows the trend, no one stands out. This is what you have to understand. The prude doesn't get looks, Paul. Stop it. The cleavage and then tight shirt. I am telling you, every woman out there have the same freaking cleavage and spandex, leisure wear, etc. I pointed this out to a woman I had a session with a couple months ago. And we sat in a Starbucks in a shopping center, right? And she had on leisure wear. This is the words that you guys use now, leisure wear, right? Meaning everything is tight. And I was explaining to her this whole idea of no woman really stands out anymore. And she said, what do you mean? And she started describing, well, I dressed that. I said, look at you. You're wearing leisure wear. Now I want you to scan the parking lot, because we could look out over the parking lot and see women coming into 80% of the women had on the same freaking tight spandex, lazy ass way of dressing. Very few women had on dresses. I said, look at you. Nobody's standing out. And it was only then she got it. Once I pointed it out, she got it. But it took a man to point it out to her, because I said, this is what men are looking at. Men are looking at all the women that dress the same. You all are just looking to see, oh, I got a guy to look at my cleavage the other day and I'm good. Where the link to come on? Like to come on, older man. Hold on. It's in the description. It should be in the description. I'm sure I put it in the description. I can't log out of this now to actually show you. But let me see. Yeah, man, it should be in the description of this this video. Same with modern men. They dress like slobs with sportswear all day. This is the thing. This is true. We have just become such a lazy society when it comes to presenting ourselves. Modern men play video games all day and dress like slobs. Yeah, you're right. Spandex are trashy and low effort. I love this expression here. Masculine energy builds a concrete wall and attacks anything that tries to get close. This is sort of an aggressive behavior. I'm trying to explain this energy to you, what femininity means, right? True femininity is like a velvet gate. It filters out high conflict, low value people while remaining open, warm, and receptive to those who have earned her trust. It is the power to say no by simply withdrawing your warmth. In other words, this aggressive attitude that females have today is very, very masculine. Femininity is soft. Back in the day, when you rejected a man, it was done with politeness, with grace. No, thank you. I'm not interested. I appreciate your advance, but no thanks. Everything was done with grace and politeness. Today, no one have the patience to actually put a little effort into even being dismissive. If I'm not dressed properly, my woman will catch a fit. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you get lazy as men. And it is pulled up, especially if you have a woman already. You know, that's the problem, Paul. Every woman want to look like the next, so she don't have her own identity, and men don't think like that. That's why dress like another man by your own man. Be your own woman. Okay, I got what you're saying. It was hard reading it though. So sexual. She was flexible, professional drinking ex. Hold up, wait a minute. See what you think? Stop sending me freaking rap lyrics, man. I honestly think modern women are doing and dressing how they want. They are upset with the results and men not wanting to commit to them. Well, this is the thing. We can want what we want. We can do whatever the hell we want. We have this idea in our society nowadays that I should do whatever I think, or let me rephrase that. I should do whatever I feel like doing, and everybody should accept me for that. What a wonderful world that would be if that occurred. I could be a serial killer. I'm going to the extreme. I could be a serial killer because it makes me feel good. And society should accept me for that. I should be able to punch that guy in the face because it makes me feel good because I don't like how he looked at me. And society should accept me for that. Those are the extremes. I have to give you an extreme so that you can understand. Let me pull it back now. I should be able to dress however I want, and society is supposed to accept me for that. No. That's not how society works. That's not how the world works. Nature is nature, and it will act accordingly. A man is only attracted to certain biological triggers that occur with a woman. Sexuality, femininity. There has to be some polar opposites between both sexes. If a woman acts like a man, that does not trigger a man's natural attraction triggers. It doesn't. If a man acts like a man, if a man acts like a woman, it is not going to trigger the female's attraction mechanism. So I don't understand why women don't get it. A guy has to go to the gym, build himself, stop looking like a wimp, put some in his voice in order to be attractive to another woman or to females in general. I saw you coming in here, brother. Yep, you're on. You got in.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Good, brother. How are you, man?
I'm all right. I'm trying to see if I can show my face, but it's been a while since I did a live.
All right, no worries, man. You can keep this on, but
there you go. Hey, how you doing, bro?
Good, man. I can't see it. I just see a black patch. But anyway.
Okay. I can see myself, but yeah. How do you feel about the future between relationships between a man and a woman? And do you think women are gonna end up being extinct?
That's not possible. Relationships can become extinct, but women won't become extinct.
Yeah, I know it's more women than men.
Yeah, but women. I mean, we're gonna until the day comes when we still need women to birth and carry a child. That won't happen. Just like men won't become extinct, but relationships will become extinct.
But you don't think men have a reproductive problem as we speak now? And since it's more women than men, that we have to solve this problem? And if women in this first wave of feminists, because there is a wave right now of feminists, but it's going to be a second wave where men is going to this wave is going to be worse, to tell you the truth, than the feminist movement.
I don't see it like that. I see what is happening now. Men have refused to play the game that women have put in front of them.
Facts.
Men are taking the sex, but they're not committing to relationships.
They want peace. I get it.
Right. So the whole market will grow significantly. There will be more prostitutes in our society. Prostitution will become a normal thing. Your average woman they will stop defining prostitution as prostitution.
Right, because the way I see it, the system don't need them anymore, because AI could take all the white collar jobs, and they're going to be out there, and they're going to have this sweet moment where they could either choose to be with a man or choose to stay hard-headed, or maybe their survival instincts will tell them to go back to a man. But I'm starting to see that we have a reproductive problem, and it's going to even be worse on the second wave when men.
What do you mean by a reproductive problem? Meaning, males and females are not having kids?
Yeah, procreation.
That is a serious problem, but that will not just affect women; it will affect men and women, because women nobody's being born. In other words,
right. But I think it'll affect men more, because we're less in the population than, God made it that way because, I think if it was more men on this earth, it'd be more wars, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm just, saying things. But
you keep defaulting back to more men. That won't happen.
No, I won't. It would never. Well, I can never say it won't happen, but when it comes to women, the way I see it, women are not doing their, purpose, having kids, and it don't look like it's gonna get any better.
Okay, but if women don't have kids, because women birth males and females, correct?
Facts. That's facts.
Okay, so that means that the men will still be coming and the women will still be coming. That's it. Done.
Well, the thing is that if women are not doing their part, men always finds a way to have a solution. And
okay, so you're thinking the artificial way then. So men will start having machines. Well, you have a point. I see where you're coming from, because they are incubating. There's something called an incubator right now, right?
A synthetic one, yeah.
Right. There, and I strongly see this happening where androids will be walking around with an incubator built in, as acting as women. I can see that happening.
So that's the extinction that I see for women, and it's very scary to me.
Right, but what will that incubator or that child that's being incubated? Will it be a woman or a man?
Will be a man.
Why?
Why? Because
why would we want to just keep birthing or selecting men as the default?
Because men see that women is a downfall, and they look more. They look more of a liability than an asset. And the feminist movement, it's showing this, and men are getting fed up, and it's going to be a point where if they could pick and choose what they want, they'll pick men, because they feel that women won't reproduce.
It'll be sort of like the one-child policy in China again, when this is what happened in China, but
no, not necessarily.
Well, that's what happened in China. When you had one child, what do you think they selected?
Well, they select boys.
Exactly. So that's why there's a massive imbalance between the males and females in China at the moment. If you're saying if we have a choice in the future to have boys versus girl, that we will choose more boys, you have a point, but I think we're far off from there, man.
Yeah, we're far off, but the technology is showing. Like, I looked at the Chinese gala, and the way these machines are moving, all you have to do is slap on some synthetic skin and give it 3 holes, and men will do what they're supposed to do. And they find solutions. If they can't have a relationship, they'll have a synthetic human as a relationship, and that's
Right,
the
but that
downfall
is
of women.
sex. That
No,
is
no, no.
sex.
That's the sex. But then
Yeah.
there will come with another solution where we could have a synthetic embryo, synthetic uterus, or whatever. They'll
Yeah,
find a
well,
way.
they've already started saying that we could clone a human being just by taking the cells from one sex, which is getting scary.
It's very
But
scary.
anyway, brother, I want to stick to the femininity.
Sure.
Are you?
I mean,
Are
I like
you?
talking. I like listening to some of your I listen to you a lot. Legion of
Yeah,
Man, you, a couple other people. Not. I'm very selective who I listen to because I'm an older man myself, and I see decades of how relationships disintegrate. It just
yeah,
evaporate, and it's kind of I'm in my 50s. Also, I'm 53,
yeah.
so I
Damn.
could relate to you.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. All right, man. Listen, thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Have a good one.
Okay, man. Take care. All right. Yeah, I think we'll still have females around. That's we cannot eliminate one sex. That's not going to happen. The point I'm trying to make is relationships as we know it will start to dissipate significantly. It's already started. Morgan Stanley predicted this, 9-10 years ago. By the year 2030, more than 45% of women in childbearing age will be single and childless. So we're getting there, and it's approaching very fast. And in essence, what I'm trying to say, especially to women, they never anticipated that men would refuse to play the game when they change. In reality, what has occurred was we had a very secure contract between males and females, and feminism broke that contract and expected men to adhere to the rules of their new contract. And finally, men are saying, nah, we're opting out. Now, that's to do with a combination of other issues with the advent of sexual liberation, where women literally just gave up the sex. The one very basic thing that they had to hold a man in place to secure him as a husband who would work for them, they started giving it away free. Sex. This is what we have to understand. And it just got progressively worse because as more women started to give up sex, they started to go more and more sexual. My body, my choice became the freaking mantra. Sex, more sex, more sex. And now every woman is walking around over sexualized, thinking that that's the only way that they're going to attract a man. That's what every woman thinks. I need to show some cleavage. I cannot be conservative. Aren't dates with women a form of renting until the ring? Then you buy? Yeah, if you want to say it, renting until you buy, or I prefer to use the term, you are an intern at a job position until until you get the full job or you get dismissed. Because men are responsible for relationships. So renting until you buy, it's another way to look at it. I like the word. I like to say, you're because when you rent something, right? When you're interning, I should say, you're playing the full role. You're playing the full role as a wife so that the man can see that, she can actually be a good wife. The problem with a lot of women, and this is what feminism have pumped into your lady's head, is that I should be getting everything from him, but I shouldn't be doing the role of a wife because I don't have the ring yet. Make that shit make sense. So the man gets to pay for the dates, do all of the stuff that men are supposed to do before he gets married, but she's not supposed to display any characteristics that shows a man that she could be a good wife or mother. So this is why I like to use the word intern. You're an intern at a job that you would like to have long term, to be permanently installed in. I spend time with women, not money on. I spend time with women, not money on women. It's a big difference. Time is money, my friend. Time is money. Time is the only thing that you can't get back. More important than money. We put too much emphasis on this thing called money. If I had more time, I could make more money. Rent, I mean, I was pay her beforehand, not after, AKA, also known as escort. Laugh a lot. Make your life easier, men, and just pay her to leave. And this is what a lot of men are actually coming to. This is the conclusion. Men are basically paying for women to leave. Yeah, but Paul, look at women divorcing after 20, 25 years. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm just coming up on my 21st anniversary with my wife right now. And when I expressed this a couple of days ago, I get a couple of comments. Well, my wife left me after 25 years. Oh, so what happens if she leaves you? I look at life like this. Everything is temporary. Everything. This is a Buddhist mantra. Everything is temporary. Life is temporary. Nothing is permanent. I hold on to nothing mentally as if it is permanent. This allows me not to be disappointed. Okay, and I would really encourage you guys to use that same sort of mindset. We have this idea that we are owed, or we have to, what's the word I'm looking for? That this thing is ours permanently. Nothing is permanent. Your life isn't permanent. So I make every effort to make sure that I learn everything about, holding on to a woman. And she learns everything about holding on to a man, because she sees the value in me and I still see value in her, right? It has to be mutual. But we've been together so long, we are sort of intertwined, right? And every single woman who divorces her man after they've been with them for 25 years, most of them deeply regret it. Because 25 years is not a little bit of time, my friend. There's nothing you can basically do on your own and feel comfortable after that, after 25 years. Imagine staying in one environment for 25 years and then all of a sudden it changes. It might feel exciting in the first couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, but I can tell you, it gets ugly after a while, especially as no other man wants to take that position. A lot of women out there lying to you about, how great life is after divorce. And women love keeping each other single, man. And most of them crying them damn selves to sleep. I know, because I get the calls. I get the private calls. I'm lonely. I'm kind of miss her. I have to listen to women, Robin Williams married 2 years, cost him $32 million, over $1 million a month. So he took the only way out. Yeah, a lot of men take the easy way out, man. Congratulations on your anniversary, Paul. We need to congratulate these success. And I thank you for the congratulations. I just see this as life, man. This is just a process of life. Should we congratulate each other for staying with each other? I'm debating how that makes me feel. In essence, that's a low bar. Just hear me out. If we are at this point in our society where we have to congratulate each other for staying together, man, ooh, the bar is low. And just let it sink in a little bit, that's my impression, man. All right. Femininity. How do you guys even? I want the women to tell me what is femininity. How they define it. How do you define femininity? Yep, single women keep women single. Why do men hesitate so much to pay for play when all women cost money? You're right, brother. Femininity is a lost art. Yes, it is. Feminism is a scam. Women have been bamboozled. Yeah. Femininity is wonderful. It's just rare in our times. Yes. Stop trying to marry your mama. She was never equipped to be a wife. I like that. That is true. You don't look for your mother in a wife. It isn't there. All right. I'm going to play you another finishing. I'm going to play a sequence of these because I want to show you. Okay, just the way a woman walks, just the way a woman enters a room draws the attention. Long skirt, nice heels, elegant top. Nothing about that was sexual. But feminine, elegant. She demonstrated the two ways women can walk. This is what I'm talking about. When a woman enters a room and she walks with grace and elegance, then that is what draws the eyes. Not cleavage, Stacy, not cleavage. Not a short skirt where she's freaking 2 inches from her snatch poking out. Femininity is family first. It's quiet and submissive, not self-seeking. If you're defining family first as a woman who demonstrates that she is wife material, yes. But I'm trying to express the attraction triggers outside the home. We can spot a 3 or 4 just by the way they walk. It's true. A lot of women don't realize that men can really pick up on a lot of nonverbal cues. And the thing is, here's the question on the screen. If women are more masculine, who should men love? I had some religious women come to my house in sundresses. Beautiful, soft-spoken, very feminine. If only I was 20 again. Yeah. I mean, religion is trying its hardest to actually keep femininity there. But even the churches now are getting ridiculous, man. The way I see women, I don't go to church, but the way I see them presenting themselves online, where women are taking cameras into church and showing all the women in tight dresses and tight skirts jumping up and down and parading themselves, cleavage out, and like, wow. Okay. Freud statement there. Yeah, guys, give me some thumbs up, please. There's over 114 of you I see on the screen now. Give me some thumbs up, please, so that the algorithm can push this information out. A long flowing dress is way more enticing than a short mini skirt. There you go, Stacy. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Men actually want the candy wrapped. It's almost as if there's a nice sweet piece of candy and it's half wrapped, or it's exposed. I'm not interested in touching it because I feel like everybody else touched it, or it has germs on it. When you wrap it nicely in a nice package, in a nice wrapper, long skirt, covered, etc., then you feel like, when I unwrap it, it's clean, it's mine. You know, this is, I think this is the best analogy I can give, man. They use that analogy over here in Arab nations, where they say this is the reason why they want to see their woman covered, because, you know, it's precious. It's like a beautiful dress versus a medium diagram, a medical diagram. Yeah, exactly. Man, concerning a wife to be wants sexual exclusivity that includes her body being covered up in public. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll get this, long flowing, nothing showing. Thank you. Thank you. And this is what I'm trying to say to women. Women just don't understand. They all look the same. Let's look at this. There you go. Elegant. Move with elegance. Move with purpose. Move that like you are in the space to show and to it's just not throwing yourself around. It's hard to explain in words what it is, what femininity is. But it is clearly felt. When a man is in the presence of a feminine woman, every fiber of his body is activated. Everything. He feels it in his gut, his loins, his brain, his whole body starts to tingle. I've been there, man. I've been around some feminine women that just triggered everything about me. Can't help it. And now here's the ultimate femininity trigger. Peace. P-E-A-C-E. Okay? That has become the most feminine and most desired thing for men these days. We need to mix the races so that our future children will not experience racism. Yeah, I did my part. I did my part. I meet strippers in Atlanta that were more feminine than most church women who act and dress like whores. Yeah, you're right. It's a big problem in the church now. Even the female pastors are ridiculous. Lo and behold, don't go to African nations and see some of the churches. Ooh, big booty female pastors up there walking around in tight outfits. It's church is a joke right nowadays, to be honest. The idea of going to a church is not to have sexual thoughts. It's to connect. But now church has just become a distraction, especially for men. The women are just going, they're trying too hard. This is what happens when you put women in charge. As this gentleman just says. Oh, missed it. Women create chaos. They try for a response. Let's see here. Yes. So Tampa Airport has banned Crocs, bonnets, and pajamas. They're trying to bring elegance back, femininity back. Yeah. So what are we seeing? What are we seeing? We're seeing a culture of women. You cannot tell them anything that they're doing wrong. If you leave women up to their own devices, and you guys will come at me, ladies, this is what you get. Why is it that a woman, why is it that with all of this so-called liberty with women, and I'm making my point here, why is it that it couldn't go the opposite way, where women became more conservative, where women were made themselves more exclusive? Why did it go the opposite way, where women became more like hoes, less attractive to men? Why did it have to go to that other extreme versus going the other way, where they covered up more? You never could understand the pajama culture. I couldn't understand it either. But in reality, people want to feel that they're comfortable on the plane, and they want to sleep on the plane, so they start with their pajamas. Only the woman could get away with that shit. Men can't get away with going on a freaking plane with a pajama. They used to wear drawers up under their shorts, skirts. Now they only wear underwear. Okay. I've heard that word, the drawers. I haven't heard that word in a while, man. At least some parts of Muslim culture got things right. Yeah, I mean, listen, every religion got certain things right. So, but we're not going there. We're not going there. Women thought they could control men visually, and they did for a while. Until everybody start doing the same thing. Everybody start looking the same. Fish lips, Botox face, freaking cum-catching eyelashes, septum rings, nose rings, 15 earrings in one ear, wigs, bonnets, Same shit. It's a cookie cutter world when it comes to women. Cookie cutter world. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to stand out these days, ladies, bring your femininity back. Go back to go and find a finishing school, an elegant school. Learn the fine art of being feminine. Yes, yes. It's nothing more elegant than when you watch a woman use her cutlery with finesse and grace. Cut her food, put the right amount of food in her mouth. Make sure you don't see her any food in her teeth, etc., etc. Yes. Even short fingernails. I could never understand why women think that they look good with these ridiculous fingernails. I don't get it. I to this day I cannot get an explanation from a woman to make me get a good enough explanation of why these long ass nails that have multiple colors on every finger, who she's trying to impress. Because I can tell you it's not men. Women look like chefs wearing a bonnet, but they can't cook worth a damn. And that's another thing. I make sure once a week my daughters have to come into the kitchen and cook the meal. And I'm not talking about pasta, because anybody could freaking boil pasta. Part of femininity is knowing yourself around the kitchen and having at least a few good recipes in your brain memorized, so that, hey, when you're in that situation, in that interview room with a man, well, I wouldn't say what I call it, when you're an intern and you can throw together a nice quick meal, oh, perfect. A woman should be able to put together at least 4 or 5 good meals from memory. Each different dishes, a pasta dish, a meat dish, a vegetable dish, and have these in her mind all the time. Know how to saute, know how to fry, know how to grill, know how to do all of these different techniques of cooking. And she should also know a little bit about how to hold her fork, how to hold her glass, etc. in public. Everything is part of being feminine. Women, you have to put that effort in. I bet you put a shitload of effort into putting on a freaking pound of makeup. I bet you put a lot of effort into trying to spend money and putting those damn Wolverine nails on. Use some of that money and go to a finishing school instead of going every week trying to get your gels and your bloody wigs tied onto your head. Go to a finishing school. Reallocate some of those funds that you spend on bullshit into going to an elegance school, a femininity school. I'm telling you how to do it, ladies. I'm not saying go spend extra money. I'm saying reallocate where you're spending your money. I'm a feminine identity coach. We're proud of the unique way we're created. 4 Ds: decent, modest, dissect, or that discreet. Okay. Devoted, devoid, and diligent, hardworking, delightful, hospitable. Okay. I had a hard time there. It's too freaking early, man. But yes, I want to see more ladies out there teaching femininity, man. Oh, it's discreet. Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Don't forget, gentlemen, a hoe can dress up in a nun's outfit, but it doesn't make her holy. What is it? Global citizen, you hit me some good ones today, man. A woman should know herbal remedies. What kind of herb? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Why are we going there? How do they wipe their behind? Guys, hit me with some questions. We are in the last 15 minutes. Hit me any questions that you have, okay? How she holds her fork doesn't matter to me. In my head, there's only one question screaming, does she love me? Boss, you got to evaluate how much effort a woman puts into her refinement. Because these things, you got to understand, gentlemen, when a woman puts effort into carrying herself well, not masking herself, carrying herself well, presenting herself well, it shows you that she has a certain amount of discipline. It's like a man working out at the gym. He can't fake that. He can't fake the muscles. Actually, he can. I'm going to bring this up in a video shortly, but I saw a guy wearing a muscle suit under his shirt. It was the scariest and the most awesome thing I saw at the same time. Because, women have all of these contouring suits, right? Now they have them for men, where men can literally have a t-shirt, tight t-shirt, with fake abs, fake biceps and triceps and shoulders. And the damn thing looks so natural. It's unreal, man. Paul, have you and your wife ever fought over your content? Who won? I'm still here, man. There, that answers your question. No, she don't fight me over my content. She understands one very fundamental rule about the world that we live in and why we keep getting along. Men and women are not the same. That she understands that rule, and the way I think isn't how she thinks all the time. But when I break it down for her, she always sees it from my perspective. Now, maybe the word "always" is a little bit too hyperbolic, but she'll let it rest. She don't argue me to the point of where it becomes an argument. We get heated sometimes on certain issues, but then I don't just blurb shit out of my ass and, just leave it like that. I follow it up with my arguments, and it's hard to argue because I'm not saying anything outlandish. In essence, I am telling her what men want and how men operate. She can't argue that point because she's not a man. She tells me how women think and why they think that way, and I will only respond well if women want results from men, commitment. They cannot default to how they or what they want. They have to give the man what they want. There has to be a compromise, So these are usually the discussions my wife and I have. They said nothing, just like throwing false accusation. How we got here, man. How we got here. Man hating. Yeah, that's always the issue, man. Radical feminism ruined everything. The word feminist cannot be redeemed. Mutual respect and complementary, not competition. Yes, healing from father wounds is needed. Yeah, healing from mother wounds as well. I don't want to dilute your comment, but the problem we have is more mother wounds that we don't talk about because simply because the mother has been and should have been the protector and the nurturer of the child. She has to be that. If the father is abusive or horrible, it is the mother's responsibility to protect the child against that. And we have a society that protects women, so there's no excuses anymore. You know? My dear, feminism has always been radical. It's the only form from its conception. Yeah. A lot of people just don't realize it. I can't wait to get me a muscle suit. I'm going to walk by every chick with a BBL and show her what a real 10 looks like. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing to us, you know. Hard to argue with logic with women that are not logic. Yeah. Thanks, Ball, to your commitment to help men out. Boss, I think that is part and parcel of whatever older man should actually be doing, period. Give me some likes here, guys. We're at peak now. Do you feel that this is a good thing, that women cook and a man cleans, vice versa? Yeah, why not? Listen, fundamentally, my wife cooks on a daily basis. I take care of all the other little things around the house. But I'm also teaching my daughters, because there's 4 of us in the house, right? My 2 daughters and my wife and I. But my daughters are now adults. They have to do things around the house. So they have to take care of a lot of the stuff. I focus on making the money and creating videos and creating content, etc. And they help me out. What I'm trying to get at is there is no hard, fast rule to manual labor anymore, right? We have so many easy ways to do manual work. Loading the dishes in the dishwasher isn't a freaking job. But for some reason, women have freaking made it a thing where, oh, why can't you load the dishwasher? It's freaking taking plates from one area and put them in a machine and pressing a button. Now, back in the day when we had to wash dishes manually, that was different, right? I still wash my dishes manually. As I eat, I finish. Usually by the time I cook my own breakfast. Usually every morning, eggs, meat, right? I take the frying pan and literally take the food out, put it down, and I wash my pan before I even eat. And the kitchen is clean before I sit down to eat, because that's it. I wash as I go, right? So, but that's me. That's just my old way of thinking, because I cannot sit down thinking that the kitchen is dirty. So we have to understand that we have to think a little bit different when it comes to domestic labor. Women complain that men don't want to do any home domestic labor and they have to do it all. But if you look at what women are asking men to accept as them working hard in the house, man, it's so easy nowadays. You got a vacuum cleaner, you push it across the floor, it sucks up everything. You don't even have to manually sweep. You dishwashing, you got a washing machine, you take the clothes, you sort them color by color. I don't understand why women look at this as hard anymore, but yet they want a man to go out there and work his ass off. Jamaica, yeah, real Jamaica, no dishwasher, yeah. But I do realize that you do waste more water doing hand washing. Just letting you know, just so for argument's sake. You waste more water. Might be a little bit more with electricity with running the washing machine, but it's minimal still. Never let a woman in your kitchen. They can't cook. My ex couldn't cook, clean, wash clothes, or even load a dishwasher. That's hard to beat. Yeah, that is freaking hard to beat. Because both of my daughters know how to separate clothes, know how to use the washing machine, clean the house, wash dishes manually with their own hands, and also cook. They don't have any choice. I've been grooming that into them from the time they were like 11, 12 years old, you know? Yes, mother, the wounds have the wounds too. Yeah, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Broken parents raise broken children. Thank you, my dear. Thank you for sharing that. A man should be able to do everything. However, a woman must play her role because as he goes to work, she must take care of the home, especially with children. Yeah, but those days are over, my friend. I do not encourage men to let their women stay at home. With the high divorce rates these days, if you are a stay-at-home mom or a man permits a woman to stay at home and he does his manual work, the man work, go out to work. When she wants to divorce you, you're going to have to pay her alimony for years to come because you were employing her. And I just feel that the risk is too high to actually have a woman stay home these days. That's number one. That's number one reason. Number two reason is this world is too damn expensive to have both people. I'm talking about the average individual, which consists of almost, 80, 90% of us. The world is too expensive for one person to just go out there and take care of the bills. That's number two. Number three, in the age and time where work security is so flimsy, a business can flop in a night and overnight. Somebody can get bought out. Somebody can get sick. And once that man is no longer the workhorse, everything collapses. At least if the wife is still pulling in 20, 30%, it hasn't been a burden on the entire household. She put something away. So when things actually inevitably collapse, because they will, there is more security in the house. So these are the 3-4 basic reasons I do not encourage men to allow his wife to stay home with the kids. I know it is a controversial thing because I would love that to be the case, but the risk isn't worth the reward. The risk is too damn high. Paul, maybe you can do one video about your healthy eating habits. You're reading my mind, my brother. Fasting is a big thing that I do. I eat very healthy. My wife cooks very healthy for me every day. Well, not for me, but for the entire household. My girls are slim. We eat well. We only eat junk food one time per week. McDonald's, and it's usually a burger. I can hate McDonald's. I just don't like it. I used to eat it, but now I just realize it's just not good food. I like a more natural burger. I just don't see McDonald's as a big thing. But during the course of the week, high protein, low carbohydrate, get my fiber in every day. Take creatine, 5 milligrams, not 5 milligrams. Is it 5 milligrams? Yeah. Little small scoop of creatine and drink a lot of water. Give me some thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. Come on. God ordained marriages. You don't need the government to get married. It's one way to look at it, but there is certain security of having a person legally in the world with you. Just in case something happens, there's an automatic transfer of wealth, especially with the kids, etc. I had a girlfriend who could not make a hot cup of tea. She brought me a cold cup with a bang. Thank you, great grandmaster Paul. I'm not letting some of us fall. Great job and show. The work is working. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I am a Jamaican bushman. I cook and clean and take care of children. better than most modern women in the West. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, the reality of it is, if we are living in a society where you can do that, by all means, do it. You know? Your westernized women are quite scary. Yes. Definitely no more pop. My sugar at 435, hopefully lower now. Yeah, brother, I do not do sugar, period. Period. If I want anything sweet, it comes from stevia. And that is so sweet. I can barely even survive on just literally a pinch in my tea. Eating good, healthy, and cheap is easy in Dubai, and the variety is phenomenal. Even McDonald's there is healthy compared to the US, and it won't make you sick. That is true. That is true. But I just don't like the taste, to be honest. It's as simple as that. You know, I used to like it, but now I've just outgrown it from it. I've just gotten so used to my wife just making healthy meals every day for years. It's hard to beat that, man. I mean, she makes stuff from scratch. The other day, there was some barbecue sauce. I'm like, oh, this is good. Where'd you buy this? What brand? She said, no, I just made that. I'm like, come on now. You're showing off on me now. She made her own barbecue sauce. So she just enjoys it. She enjoys the fact that she can provide healthy food for her family, you know? As long as the demand is high, women will never change. It's just basic economics. Yeah, as long as the simps are out there, there will be a demand. But it's not enough because more and more men are waking up. We had this discussion on our Zoom call with our membership site last night. As more and more simps get hurt, guess what happens to those simps? They become red pill. As more and more men become red pill and start showing all the boys and all the men that being a simp isn't worth it, then more and more men opt out of the system. So inevitably, women that do take advantage of men and the simps, eventually they will red pill every single one of these guys. Because women cannot have respect for simps. It's just the reality of it, man. Every single one of you guys that are watching me have been a simp. Admit it. I was a simp. Okay? Every single one of us. The reason why we're now turned more towards a red pill understanding of the world, and red pill just basically means that we now understand female nature. We stop looking at what has been crammed down our throats as built by mainstream media and society, and literally start looking at the true nature of women. That's all it is. Yes, Lord, forgive me, for I have simp. I learned the errors of my ways. Exactly. We all been there, man. Great wife. Why do so many women feel ashamed of such a privilege of nurturing their family? I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. But it's just the power of feminism that have pushed women to just see anything that actually benefits a man as a problem. And they shouldn't do it. They call it unpaid labor. Yeah, make that shit make sense. That's how Grok described femininity. This is how Grok described femininity. Where? It's somewhere in there. I didn't see it. because society told them marriage is slavery that only benefits the husband, which was a lie. Of course, it's a freaking lie. How can you? I mean, just think about it. Two people navigating the world versus one. The day one person gets sick, it's like think about going on a hunt, right? You're out in the wilderness on your own, hunting on your own, and you just so happen to step into somebody else's bear trap, and your foot is broken, and you're out there alone in the middle of the freaking forest. And around you, there wolves smell blood. There are bears who smell blood. There's diseases. There's no hospital. There's nothing. You can't. That is life on your own. Now imagine you're out there with another hunter, a partner, and the same thing occurs, but that person is there to pry it open, put on a stint, wrap it around as your fever and your body starts to shut down. They're there to give you some water, run down to the river, get you some water, make sure that you're okay, and get you back to safety. That is the equivalent of having a partner, a wife, a husband. Because the modern world is literally being in the wilderness alone, and the chances of you getting injured, i.e., losing your job, getting sick, having an accident, whatever, is extremely high because we are in a fast-paced, fast-changing environment nowadays. And with AI coming up, it's even worse. Right now, my wife is, with all of this crap in the war in Dubai and with COVID, her business, the company that she worked with, they literally is on a massive decline. Salaries have been cut by 50%. If she was on her own, she'd be screwed. But no, got a husband. Don't worry, babes. We're good. We're good. You're okay. She don't have to stress about shit. Because her husband is there to make sure that everything is good. And this is what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen. When I moved to Dubai, her income was extremely high, a lot higher than mine. She took the majority of the brunt while I wanted to become a photographer and build that business. So when I was building, she was supporting most of the family's expenses, including maids, etc., etc. She had me when I was building. When she's on her decline, I got her. That's the importance of freaking marriage. This is what a lot of people don't freaking get. A single cord is easily broken. 2 cords twisted together is harder. And 3 cords, family, wrapped together is even harder to break. Thank you. Is it me or is Daisy hot? Stop it. My mom taught me to simp. Luckily, I learned my lesson when I was 22. I guess I was lucky, never took crap from women since. I think a lot of us get the model from home growing up. Yeah, so of course, we're taught to simp by our parents. But it's just an old way of looking at life, you know? Treat a woman nice, you know, be nice, be gentle. It was a gentleman's way of existing. But a gentleman can only exist if a lady exists. There is no need for the gentleman if there's no lady. Because a gentleman and a hoe doesn't work. That's not how this shit works. I think it was Dr. Terryban. He had a great show on that. why about the whole and the gentleman and the lady, and why, you know, the reason why chivalry died. Women killed it, and chivalry was demonstrated by gentlemen, right? And the reason why gentlemen disappeared and chivalry disappeared, women stopped being ladies. There was no reason for the gentleman to exist after that. And that's what I'm trying to say in this show. If women want the gentleman to come back, ladies have to reemerge. Paul, a lot of women don't understand that you're all supposed to have each other back. Yeah. There's 3 different species that exist in this world. Parasite, a symbiotic species. That means both working together and live, feed off each other. And what's the third? Oh, I just had a brain freeze. One that sucks, one that takes, and feeds off each other. Is there a third? Ah, man. And one that just gives. One that just gives. That's the third, right? We human beings have to be symbiotic. We have to feed off of each other in order for us to exist, right? But most women have become parasitic. They're parasites. They just suck and suck and suck and suck until the host dies, and then they jump on to another host. And men have literally just been the hosts that just provides. But now they're waking up. That's the problem. Producers, symbiosis, and parasitic. Yeah, thank you. When a female is hungry and alone, she will adapt and learn how to be a woman. Yeah, like I said, the bottom line is that we have reached this point in society where things are still good, but it's going to get worse. And feminism can only survive in an economy where everything is great, because women can rely on good job and daddy government to support her. Simple. All right, my friends, listen. We have gone over our time, but I enjoyed doing that. Hey, it's been another great show. Hey, if you guys want some of my music, send me an email, paul@askanolderman.com. paul@askanolderman.com. I know a lot of you have been listening to my new hobby that I've started, which is creating AI music that was more positive. By all means, I will be happy to send it to you. But you cannot send messages in the comment section to say, send it to me. I have no email address. How can I send you something where there's no address to send it to? So by all means, send me an email and I will send you guys the music. Okay? And hey, don't forget to go and pick up one of my books, The Modern Man's Blueprint or The Modern Woman's Blueprint. These are still selling quite well. I'm very proud of my first 2 books. Go and pick up one of them. They're now over on Audible as well. So you guys can listen to it instead of reading if you guys are listeners more than readers. Okay? My friends, it's been a absolute pleasure again. Thank you so much for listening to The Older Man. And hey, we're here. I'm always here for you guys. Let me know if you have anything that you want me to cover next, okay? All right. I'm going to play you guys out.
Stay focused. Move with purpose. Building it right. Listen to the older man. He said, tighten up your laces, then you walk your lane. You don't chase every face, you don't chase that fame. You stack quiet, stack steady, let the loud ones fade. You protect your peace first, that's how power's made. He said, breathe slow, spine tall, let your jaw clench. Hold the door for your people, keep your circle dense. You don't flinch at the pressure, you just learn to wait. You don't sprint for approval, you just move, you create. Yeah, stay focused, eyes fronted, hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Every step like you already chose it. Yeah, build it rise from the dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame, I remember every word, every line. Listen to the older man. He said, son, guard your mornings like a sacred place. Write the plan, then attack, don't erase your pace. Turn your anger into effort, not a heavy chain. Turn your doubts into questions that refine your aim. He said, love is a duty, there's more than one.